Hi guys, welcome to Drum Dog, and today we are talking about playing doubles on a bass drum. Now, when it comes to the bass drum, we have to think differently about how we're playing our doubles compared to how we're playing them with our sticks. Most of the time when we're playing doubles with our hands, they're on a high rebound surface and we're using that rebound to our advantage to get those second notes a bit easier. However, when it comes down to that bass drum, the majority of the time we're playing on big surfaces, a 22-inch drum that's tuned low, and we are not going to get much rebound, if any, off of that surface at all. Now, because of that, we're going to have to adjust our technique and think a bit differently about how we're going to get these two hits to sound consistent and as close together as we need them to be. Now, there are a couple techniques that drummers use for kick doubles, and the two most popular ones are heel toe and slide technique. Now, while those two techniques do actually have quite a lot of crossover and similarity, for the sake of argument, the technique we're looking at today is closer to the slide technique side of things. Now, this technique is called slide technique because of a sliding motion that our foot's making as we're playing these two hits. We're starting with our first hit further down the pedal, and then for the second hit, we're going to slide our foot back up the pedal for that second hit. Now, before we go any further, let's take a look at this technique in depth in a super slow-mo setting so we can see exactly how this is working to get us our two hits. So as you can see there, it's only a small movement, but that foot coming back on that footboard for the first one, then lets us come down in for that second one. But let's think about this in just a little bit more depth here. Now, as with any technique, we want to practice this super slow and deliberately, thinking of the two hits as separate hits and motions before we can use it as one motion to get our two hits close together. Now, I really can't stress that enough. Take it slowly, work on these hits individually before we're pushing this into one motion. So for our first hit here, I'm pulling my foot back, I'm coming up onto the ball of my foot, and I'm going to be using the bottom end of that footboard to come in for hit number one. Now, what's really important about hit number one is that my leg is still up. My leg has not dropped yet because it's that leg dropping and that foot sliding forwards that is going to give us hit number two. So again, for hit number one, the foot's coming down the footboard and we're catching a hit on the ball of our foot at the bottom of the footboard with our leg in the air. And for hit number two, we're dropping that leg and we're shifting that foot back up the footboard to its normal position. So that was 1, 2. 1, 2. And then as we put those together, now do really take your time with those two motions, play them deliberately and slowly before you try and link them together. Because if you try and jump straight into linking them without forcing your leg to go through those movements, you'll find your foot just sliding up the footboard and only playing one note, kind of wondering what's going wrong. Because remember, it's all about playing that first note on the ball of your foot and then dropping the foot and the leg forwards for that second note. Now, if this technique is new to you and you've never played this before, I recommend leave it there for a week or so. Yes, even that long, maybe even longer, as long as it takes you to practice those two motions and then let your body itself work out how to connect them together into one fluid motion for those two notes. Now, you want to have that kind of eureka light bulb moment where you connect those motions together before we take this into a musical context and play it in a beat. So please don't rush this, because I can't stress enough how important it is to take learning techniques slowly instead of forcing them through. However, once you have taken that time and you've got this feeling a little bit more natural to get those two hits in one sweeping motion, let's put this into some beats and see what music we can make. Okay, so for beat number 1 here, we're going to be picking out some little 16th note leading notes on a nice simple funk beat. Let's check it out. Now for beat number 2, we're going to be playing exactly the same beat, but this time we are going to shuffle our 16th notes. Now you've got to be really careful when we're shuffling this, because the only thing that tells us that it's that shuffle feel is how close together we have those bass drums. So this is a true test of how much you can control how close those bass drums are together to give it a straight 16th feel, or a shuffled 16th feel. Moving on to beat number 3, and now we have a classic John Bonham lick. Now this uses 8th note triplets, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, but we're going to only be picking out portions 2 and 3 of the triplet down on that bass drum to give us a hat kick, kick, hat kick, kick. Now this is a super cool lick and one that sounds really great up to speed. But again, be really careful with your bass drum spacings to make sure it sounds like even triplets and that you're not playing them a little bit too fast and making it sound like 16th notes. And on to number 4, we are continuing our Bonham theme for this bass drum workout, and we're playing the classic pattern from the Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin. Now this one's more of a workout because there's a lot of doubles going on here and a single in the middle of them. So take it slow and build up to the song tempo with this one. And finally, for beat number 5, we're going to be checking out a real challenge here. Now, this one is a constant stream of 2 notes down on that kick, boom, 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 boom. But instead of hearing it in a shuffle triplet context, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to be hearing it as 16th notes. That's going to be a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Now before we go any further, let's just take that real slow, just with the hi-hat and the bass drum, playing that pattern over the top of each other. Now I'm only playing 1/8 notes on the hats here, but because of the nature of this pattern, it takes 3 bars before it comes round again. Once we've got that hat and kick feeling good together, let's add in that 2 and 4 backbeat on the snare and hear this beat in its full glory. Now those 5 beats there really do put your bass drum doubles to the test, but as with always, once you've got that technique under your belt and feeling good in that right foot, you can take this on to any kind of beat that you want to create. As always with this stuff, get out there, think up some ideas of your own and how you want to add this technique into your own playing. I really hope you guys enjoyed this bass drum lesson. If you want to see more drum lessons, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and for full-length lesson packs, check out our website drum.dog. See you for the next one.